Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Alex Gubin and I am blockchain developer on Golang and Solidity. This is the first video on this channel and here I want to show and tell how backends and other stuff are developed for blockchains such as Ethereum, Solana and Cosmos. So I think it will be very interesting, so stay with me. In this series of videos, I'm going to write a simple indexer for transfers of ERC20 tokens on the Ethereum, wrap this up in the Docker and using TimescaleDB as database. So let's take a look at the scheme of how it will look like at the top level. So actually things get easier if you know that Ethereum provides us ability to retrieve events from blockchain using special the data type of event. And when someone want to transfer ERC20 tokens, in our case it's USDC token, the smart contract will emit transfer event, which we want to catch and store in our database. After that, we will write some simple REST API for retrieving this data. Well, let's move on to the project. Now I will show you how I usually create the project from the scratch. First of all, I have created the Git repository when I will store my code. Next, I'm create a go.mod file using command go.mod init and paste URL from GitHub, actually like this. Great. We just create our go.mod file. Then the next step, we need to create our project structure. Basically, I'm creating CMD folder for initial entry point of our program. After that, I am creating a config folder for our configs and some environment variables. The next folder is internal, where our core code base will be stored. Great. So the last thing we want to do is prepare our ABI file. I just found this content from the internet. You can easily go to my repository and copy this file. The next step, I want to generate a .go file like protobuf. So before this, you need to install abigen command from Go Ethereum repository. Let's install abigen. I'm actually already installed, so you can check with abigen dash version. All right, now we can generate our .go file with the next command. Abigen when which file is ABI, our package name, our type name, and what is output. All right, so we have erc20.go file. If you see these errors, you need to execute go mod tidy command for downloading our dependencies. Especially in this case, it's a Go Ethereum package. All right, our dependencies are installed, and if you open go.mod file, you can see that our dependencies Go Ethereum are shown here. Okay, this type of file, I mean ABI, I usually stored in a folder ABI in internal. So let's move it, ABI, and move to ABI. Let's start create our indexer. Let's create indexer folder in internal, indexer.go. Here we located indexer structure. We want indexer to have two methods, start, and the constructor new, which return pointer of our indexer. In the constructor, we want to receive some config. which we declare later, and some repository. Now it will be interface, because in this video we implement in-memory repository, but in the next video we will use TimescaleDB and write implementation of this interface. We have repository interface, and let's create some config, but now it will be empty, okay, without fields, and import config. Great, let's implement our start method. So it will be receive context for the first parameter, and actually that's it. So what actually I want to do, first of all, I need to connect to blockchain by Ethereum client. The next step, I want to create instance of our ERC20 token, trying to retrieve events, and after that I want to save it in the database. So let's create a client using client.do, which will use some RPC, but we will fill it from the config. If we got some error, we return. All right. The next step, we want to create our ERC20 instance by abi.new ERC20, which receive the first parameter is our address of our token, and the next client which can connect to our blockchain. Now we need to initial point of our indexer, and it will be the current block of the blockchain. We can do this by block number, start block. And then in the infinity loop, we want to retrieve another block number, and the difference between start block and current number, it will be our range of the retrieving our events. Here I want to use select, which will catch context done channel. We want to polling our blockchain by some ticker. So let's create ticker with some timeout, 10 seconds. The next case will be ticker, and inside this case we want to retrieve a new block by the same method block number. So it will be current block. If you have error, let's continue for now. So if we start block equals current block, we will continue and sleep for some timer. The next step, we want to filter our events in this range by using our ERC20 instance, by using method filter transfer, which receive some filter options and other filter stuff. But for now, we actually want to use filter options. Where we want to filter from start block and current block. Okay, from and to addresses will be nil for now, because we want all address that transfer our token. So it's actually receive pointer. All right, we have some transfer event. We actually can print this transfer for testing. Let's make it more detailed with this option +v. We need to do is to fill our config file. So let's move to config. Let's add some fields in our config. It will be RPC, which will be string, and token address, which is common address. It's Ethereum address representation of account. For this project, I want to use environment variables for configuration, and I want to use cleanenv package. So let's install this package by this command. All right, let's add some text for our fields, like in documentation. So we need to declare env tag and env default if we need. Let's copy and paste. All right, and for token address the same way. Cool. We don't want some default parameters, so let's make it required by env required true. Nice. And here in our indexer we can use config fields. I just forgot one moment. When we processed current block, we need to set our start block to current. Let's create main.go package main. We need to load our config. So just we need to create load config, which will return our config. Cleanenv package provide us read environmental variables. Let's use it. Cleanenv read env, and it receive a pointer to our config, so we can create config like that. Let's return copy of our config. All right, in the main function we need load config, and let's add our logger. Usually I prefer Zerlog as a logger, and let's download it. Here we go. Okay, gomod tidy once again. Cool. Let's add some logger configuration. Yeah, we need indexer, new. All right, and we need to add our repository. For this video, let's create a memory repository, which will be representation of slice of our events, repo.go. All right, repository struct events slice. Let's use generated events b.transfer ERC20 transfer mutex. Okay, constructor which return our repository with events pre-allocated. All right, and we need to declare which function will save our event. Let's name it save event. Receive context for the first parameter, and second it will be event and return error. So here, if we got some transfer event, let's save it to our repo, and here we change fmt print for our logger from to end value. All right, and here we can finally create our indexer with the memory repository. So we can start it. It's want context. Let's add context, and usually I prefer to use signal notify, which can both create top level context and listen and fetch operation system signals such as interrupt, sigterm, and others if you want. Here we can pass common context background, and we want to interrupt our program by signal OS interrupt. All right, and here we can pass this context to our indexer, and here we can add log for indexer stopped. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is to set our environment variables. For the RPC, you need to go to chain list website and find your certain blockchain. In our case, we need RPC for Ethereum mainnet for testing purpose. So let's copy, export RPC, and for token address, let's use USDC token address. For this, you need to go to ethscan.io, and in the search bar, you can type just name of certain token. In our case, it's USDC. So let's search. All right, it's already get for us USDC token page, and here we can find token contract address. Let's copy. Okay, cool. And now we can start our application. Golang send main go. All right, so you can see that our environment variables was setting, and now our index is starting. Here you can see some events, some transfer events for USDC token address. Let's add transaction hash. All right, let's start again. Let's see the transaction in the scan. Copy transaction hash and go to add the scan. Search by transaction hash. All right, and you can see some swap on Uniswap for 30,000 USDC. Let's check. Yes, it's actually this value. So now we can collect some events from blockchain. It's very good result. Let's add some REST API server, HTTP server, where we can retrieve our data from our memory repository. Okay, so let's add folder like server, and here we can actually adding our memory repository for fast implementation. So let's name it last events, which receive context and return ERC20 transfers. All right, and here we can define in a separate Go routine our HTTP server with HTTP handle func events. And above we need to declare our handler and write to response writer like this. So after that we need to starting HTTP server by listen and serve, add log, starting server. All right, let's check /events, and here we go. We get 10 last event. So it's pretty easy, yes, and you can actually modify this response, especially JSON tags if you need, and we can do this in the next series. So let's stop our indexer by sending interrupt signal. Everything works perfectly. That's all for today. Thank you for watching to the end. I hope you found something useful for you. In the next episode, we will add TimescaleDB database, write migrations, and run everything in Docker Compose. So stay tuned with me. It will be definitely interesting. And subscribe to the channel, leaving your comments. See you soon. Bye.